I'm Executive Vice President here at Flashstart. Delighted to be online this morning with our founder, Francesco Collini. Thank you for your patience. We did delay the start a bit just to accommodate one or two people who were having connection problems. This morning, we're going to focus upon how to resell content and malware filtering. And basically, there are two parts to this agenda. We're going to recap on the reasons that customers are really interested in this offering. And then secondly, the way to structure how to sell this in your reselling operation. Okay, now if you're joining us as an end user, there'll still be lots of good value in this for yourself as well. So we hope to cater for all parties this morning. Okay, so
just a check. Can I ask you, please, to write into the chat if the audio is correct and if you can see correctly our slides. Thank you. If you can please write down a feedback into our chat in order to. Yes, okay. Voice okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, very good. Okay, thank you. We can officially start, David.
Okay, great. So I think as you've all found us here, and just glancing through the names, I see many familiar names. Thank you for joining. So we are a fast-growing, cloud-based filtering, content and malware filtering company. We're currently filtering now about 1.2 billion clicks a day in 83 countries, I believe, at the last count. And we're in the business of low-cost, affordable solutions in this space, especially for small, medium enterprises, government, education, public hotspots, ISPs. And we're delighted about the good press we continue to receive, and you'll see a few of the logos on the right-hand side here. I was in Kosovo last week, and we also had some excellent media attention there, thanks to our distributor. Good morning to those joining us from Inline, Lebanon. So just advancing, a reminder, we're only selling Flashstart through resellers. It's an indirect channel motion only, and there shall be limited resellers per country. So some countries are indeed already allocated with the resellers, and others we're still growing in. But it is a club, and we encourage the best and the most enthusiastic to join us on our journey to become the dominant and most recognized brand in this field. So the Flashstart approach is to take any router, pre-existing hardware, add Flashstart to it as a DNS cloud filter, and produce safe surfing. And I stress that there is no new hardware, there's no software installation. So the goal in here is to make something that is lower cost, that is difficult to disable, that is effective in terms of realizing safe web surfing. And we're going to talk a bit about the key benefits that come from this approach. So in this slide here, I just want to underline the ways we are bringing protection. So on the left-hand side, we have mimicked here the network security. This is a cloud-based Flashstart approach configured in the local router. Everything behind that is then protected, whether it be bring your own device, whether it be laptops, whether it be servers, whether it be bring your own device. And we're protecting against website threats, and there are many, and we're protecting against unwanted content, offensive, illegal, regulatory, or time wasting. And we're doing this in a way that's GDPR compliant. These are the key messages to make resonate and that we can use to differentiate along with the cost advantage that we surely have. So let's just take a look at those. I'm going to go through 4 or 5 slides on the key benefits that clients will accrue. And I'd like you to keep in mind that most of our journeys with customers start with an interest in one thing, whether it be malware filtering, content filtering, a regulatory requirement. And I'm going to help you to broaden that out. So we're looking first at malware protection, and malware protection means many things. It means protecting from threats coming from the World Wide Web by browsing directly, phishing, email attachments, USB device attachments, advertising, and social engineering. Threats today tend to combine these, and the focus upon a Flashstart is to provide what you can confidently say should be an essential component of any IT security strategy, and that is to provide a first level of defense on URL filtering, browsing the internet, accessing websites. You are exposed to infections by download and drive-by, so not actually going into the site at all, but as the images appear, there's some kind of clever HTML injection that takes place. Okay, we maintain a dynamically updated list that protects from that, and keep in mind that the latest statistics I can find, and this is out of the SiteLock Security Report 2019, is that 1 in every 100 web pages is infected. Okay, I see other similar data. I don't think that's contentious. That's 17 million web pages are infected, against which we provide the first line of defense. And look here on the right. Let's just remind ourselves that within the tool itself, as you trial, you get detailed information on what malware sites have been detected and blocked. This is really important information to expose prospects to as they come to understand the capabilities that we bring to the table. I'll go a bit faster here. The second capability is focused on addictions, distractions, and removal of adult content. And I'll break this into 3 pieces. Firstly, there is the impact of internet on the workplace. Now look at these statistics. These are, and here are the sources of them at the bottom, so you can read up on these further. 70% of workers are admitting to a level of distraction at work caused by especially social media and gambling. 36% of millennials and Generation Z admit to losing 2 hours a day. 16% of workers, general workers of all age groups, are suffering significant distractions. And 8% of workers are clinically classified as internet addicts, according to the psychiatric review here, which is based in the US market. The first one is more of a general international study, but it is supporting evidence that, if we didn't know already, there's lots of distractions, and people at work will lose valuable time, lose focus on priorities because of this. And we can do something about that. Lovitz in the UK is a very nice case study. This is an estate agent. They sell houses. They came to us because of distractions caused by Facebook, and we implemented systems with Flashstart, very fast, which blocked access to Facebook during work times, but not at lunch times, not outside work hours, gave rise to a more mature way of removing the temptation during work times from the employees. Of course, you can still access these kind of Facebook on a telephone, on a 4G network, but the reality is that it becomes very obvious, and employees feel very uncomfortable doing that. If they can hide it on the screen in another window while they're working, it's much easier. And so this is a very effective way to lower the impact of lost productivity. Second point, this is a very obvious one. Pornography. Pornography causes a problem in all sorts of environments, and I will just mention the obvious impact on public places, restaurants, bars. There are 28.5 billion visits to Pornhub recorded in 2018. That's 4 visits for every man, woman, and child on the planet. A significant problem. It's very easy to find local examples, I'm sure, in your country of this. So blocking that effectively, something we can do. And if you look in the content lists, you'll see pornography, you'll see adult, you'll see weapons, you'll see gambling, many aspects that can be blocked and removed to remove distractions.
David,
yes, please, Francesco.
Just to add, with our 19 years experience, we noticed that there is legal pornography and even illegal pornography. So if someone, for example, an employee, a student, or someone else in a company, in a school, in a government, try to access not legal pornography, the postal police could visit the company and could ask for some information to the CEO or to the director, and it's a very big problem in Italy and in Europe, but I think all over the world. Being tracked to access illegal pornography. So it's an important way to guarantee calm and serenity to the owner or to the CEO of a company. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Francesco. And on the right-hand side here, 79% of business owners and employees agree that and users agree that free Wi-Fi should block porn websites. The question is about affordability, and we're making it very affordable. Last point, and let me just make sure this translates. Bandwidth hoggers wreck SLAs. I'm referring to extreme video streaming, consuming the available bandwidth, and affecting the general performance of the Wi-Fi for others. It's a problem in quite a few environments, and we can fix that together with the router this is deployed on, typically using level 7 rules. Okay, more about that if you wish separately from this call. Right, I want to talk about a very specific group of users now we term sensitive users. These are vulnerable communities and more risky groups. For example, payroll departments, legal departments, schools, banks, where the people in those communities are vulnerable for some reason. I think it's fairly intuitive. And so the approach you've taken here is to make content and heuristic. It's a more aggressive approach, so that the likelihood of blocking a bad site is much higher, but with that comes an increase in false positives, blocking a website by error. Now, these communities are very happy to accept blocking by error in exchange for a much lower probability of exposure. Okay, so heuristic filters, very important, and these are the groups it applies to. Okay, regulatory issues. So within many countries, there are regulatory requirements, and I've got quite a bit of data here. I won't go through every point, but this is the legal requirement to block certain things. Pornography and gambling are right at the top of the list. I have down on the second point some examples of the EU directive for blocking, and look at the penalties here for failure to take reasonable measures to block. $330,000 fine and 5 years in jail for breaching this in France, and that's specific to content logging obligations to keep a record. So we retain 6 months of data within Flashstart. I'll say more about that in a second under GDPR. But these are very important issues that require discussion with your clients. So here's an example of a nice project we ran with Mineski. Mineski is a very large professional gaming community, 150 locations in the Philippines. There is a government requirement to block gambling. And as part of the onboarding process, when we deployed Flashstart across these 150 sites, we paid special attention to gather local market URL data to enhance the filtering specifically for gambling, using a manual and an automated inspection process, and we tuned the automated inspection process to raise the bar and maintain the bar at a high level. Nice story. And we can do that in other communities as required. Please contact us about that. Just moving on. Okay. Finally, on these bigger points to sell to prospects, privacy and data handling. This is really important, and I do view this as a wave coming out of Europe in terms of regulation, awareness coming out of very high-profile issues in Facebook and Google that have made all communities on the internet aware of how their data is being managed. And there's something that you can do about this while deploying a content malware filter. You can do it in a way which is compliant to the European GDPR standards. Now, the reason that's important, whichever part of the world you're in, is that it's recognized as the leading privacy standard anywhere in the world, and compliance to that should be taken as a very solid a benchmark standard. There are cases already underway against Google and Facebook for breaching privacy standards. So out of the box, we are compliant to this. So one last point, underlying all of this approach needs to be an excellent malware and content feed. We use a combination of feeds developed ourselves on content, professional feeds bought in on the malware side, working with professional robot detectors and honeypots to identify issues, and creation of a 50 million categorized domain site for content and 350,000 floating malware signatures involved. And these change quite rapidly. Okay, so this is a high quality feed. Very, very proud to mention also that we were in a project for the German government last year. They inspected our feed, and we got a good approval rating from them and won that particular project. So let's move on. I'm going to skip through this in the interest of times. So just to show and expose some of our customers here, some great brands here you'll recognize. Vodafone, where we are deploying projects for content malware filtering for large transportation companies at the moment. Tigo residential deployments, where we're deploying filtering without the need to change the residential router at all. I'm not going to focus on that today, explain how that works, but it's very important that that it can be done without changing the router. Bintech Elmeg, the router manufacturer, who ship out about 1 million units a year. We provide Flashstart as an OEM product for them. We work with many MikroTik master distributors and resellers. Tenaza, one of the largest hotspot providers in the world. Avistel provide managed services to government hospitals, government prisons across France, working with those guys. Lots of regulatory issues there. In Italy, we provide a lot of solutions for local government, central government, schools, and some sensitive areas as well, which again is a good proof point about how we are able to be credible in terms of providing a secure and a reliable service for them, and quite a few deployments in schools and universities as well. So there's a nice range of high-profile references for us to access and talk about, and you'll find more success stories coming on our website soon. Okay, let's continue to look at the opportunity for router resellers now, and the approach to successful selling that we've learnt from our experiences. It's a 4-step process. Offer a free trial with the router. Use automated Flashstart marketing to promote the trials. Educate the installed base, and quote and close. Okay, so I'll quickly run through these and show you. So this is a volume program. Flashstart is typically 80% cheaper than traditional hardware-based firewalls and other DNS-based filters. It's a very low-cost offer we've created on a global scale and a very reliable service as well. But this is a volume program, so you need to get high volumes of sales to make this interesting for the reseller community. And step one to do that is offering free trials. Okay, free trials for everyone. And here we see a branded card. This is a fairly small credit card size. It has our brand on it. It should be augmented. It should be added with your local brand as a reseller. There'll be a unique PIN that is locked to you, your business as a reseller. Some simple messaging, which can be in any language, certainly in your local language. And once taken and activated, the PIN will appear in the dashboard of the reseller and will be locked to that reseller providing this. We provide PDF files that allow you to locally print these in volume. And once you sign up to the reseller program, you're welcome to take as many of these as you wish. And so examples of how to use that, you could attach them to the outside of routers, the router packaging, or inside, or stuffed inside a bag. If you're not actually opening the router board at all, there's many ways to do this. We can vary the size of these. You just tell us what you want and we can oblige that. There's a similar concept on the outside of Ubiquity router. So on to education during the trials process. So once these cards arrive and they're activated, if they're activated by the end user, they will be prompted also to input a local reseller that they may have obtained this from. So you may be selling from your company to another reseller and onto an end user. That chain, that commercial chain, is tied together at the point of registration. And you will then see visibility in your dashboard with a screen like this. Okay, so we're looking at active trials, customer names. We're looking at expiration dates for the trial. And we either see a green bar or a red bar here, button, I beg your pardon, to indicate correct filtering or not. Okay, so we want to turn all these green. And this actually is a topic we spend a huge amount of time on to simplify the activation process. Early this month, we achieved a 23-second automated setup time on MikroTik. So what I refer to there is that from point of starting the trial and being prompted to start configuration, the automation is very complete for the most common use case, and all that's required is to input the username and password for the router, and in 23 seconds the trials are up and running, and we've had a lot of excellent feedback from that. So as you will see, as well as you familiarize yourself, we invest quite a lot of time making it easier to configure many types of router with some very graphical manuals. But in your sales process, you have visibility here. Very important to see that the progress on these free trials you're giving out. And when the free trials start, the user is exposed to automated education, a series of videos, each video typically 2 to 4 minutes. You see the content catalog down here, advanced blacklisting, application of safe search to filtering, malware protection, geo-blocking, what marketing materials we have as well to help with other requirements as well for capabilities, and access to pricing. Okay, so none of these things are in any way undermining the reseller and their ability to control, for example, pricing materials. This is an education pack. Okay, pricing requests will all flow back to the resellers providing and selling the Flashstart service. We sell nothing directly. So that's a process for reaching out to those who are buying product. What about the rest of install base and prospect base who aren't yet buying from you? So for this, there's 2 or 3 tools here which are very useful. The first is that within the dashboard we provide, go down to the bottom here and enter your registration details. Okay, you upload your logo, the contact point, the phone number, the email address, and then you'll generate a customized landing page like this. Your logo will be here. You'll have your personal details here, and as you communicate with like an email campaign, we encourage you to link that directly to the registration page here. So then you can enable and take advantage of the materials and resources we provide for you as a reseller to educate your prospects. Okay, so that's a very important step. Please don't overlook that.
The difference, the main difference between Flashstart and our competitor is represented by the fact that I think, to be honest, our competitors are focused to sell you a software platform and content filter. Flashstart is focused both to sell technology, but even to sell knowledge and some nice tool together with I think a quite good expertise to help you to scale your market. So that's one of our most important difference between us and the others. Thank David.
Okay, thank you. So with the registration page intact, a very important part of the program, if not the most important part of the program for your reseller, is to work out your strategy for reaching the prospects. And the technique that we've certainly had most success with is to create short, very punchy emails that are jointly branded between Flashstart and the reseller to promote the key benefits in a chain of emails. So one might focus on content filtering, one might focus on malware filtering, another might focus upon some particular malware attack that's been in the press, and to communicate these out to the installed base and encourage them to register for a webinar. We run 2 forms of webinar. We run public webinars, and like this one, where multiple people are invited from different communities, and we can run dedicated webinars. So for all those attending today, I make the offer that we'll run personal webinars for your community, specifically as you require over the summer. Also in here, you can see direct registration links, which will bring you back to the this page here that we talked about. So you're capturing all the details. And once they're captured on here, these details can also be viewed in your dashboard. So this is so we're joining the dots here between the prospects and their interest to start a trial and the registration process and whether they've started a trial and such like. So we're building the elements of this into steps of the buying process to help you. Now, with these specialist webinars, we see about an 8 to 15% registration rate, which is pretty high. But consider this, that when people join the webinar, we have something like a 90% retention rate. So people will join, stay for the entire time, and then leave. And there tends to be a lot of follow-up. So I'd strongly recommend that if there's one thing you take away from today, it should be the need to develop these kind of webinars, these kind of campaigns, of which we will support you to develop the content and deliver the webinar. And you can do this autonomously by mailing your own prospects, or shortly we will have a new tool for direct email marketing. That's DEM, direct email marketing, where you can leverage our own HTML tool and the possibility to contact a managed installed base using this kind of campaign information here. Okay. So that's coming soon. In the meantime, we can offer to do that for you manually, okay? Not a problem. And the more you work with us, the more you will establish yourself as a preferred reseller. And keep in mind that within our communities, we look to develop our resellers to distributors, and we also look to keep this a fairly small community. We want specialism, and we want to avoid what I would call destructive competition. We need resellers who can invest, educate the client, and for this to be an attractive business to be in. Okay, quote and close is the next step. So very simply, for those of you who are starting out, the sales cycle of this can be incredibly fast. 2 to 4 weeks is not at all unusual. We've done a number of projects supporting resellers where the first call has resulted in the order straight away. We find offering limited time discounts is a very effective tool. There's plenty of scope for you as a reseller to implement these, and if you've looked at the pricing and the way that works, I hope that's going to be intuitive to you. If not, please get in touch with us and we can share our more detailed ideas in a different environment. Please promote the multi-year agreements. We can provide up to 10 years multi-year agreements already in projects. That can be important for governments. So if you're not finding what you need, ask us for that. If you are in need of a different pricing model, please also ask us. We continually expand the range of scenarios. So we're in the process of adding campsites, license model for campsites to the prices at the moment. And for ISPs, there's a very special model there, which is based on queries per second. And I would draw your attention to some different options around that, which can be either starting with a very low fee on a single month, or going to a fixed price 1-year contract based on a QPS, which could grow. We'll take the risk on that with you, the reseller, to help satisfy that ISP requirement. But overall, if you need help, please call us, please get in touch. Okay, so I just want to bring this together in one last slide to explain the Trial in the Box program, which I do appreciate can be a little confusing. So this will be in the reference information materials you receive automatically, but it's just explaining the process that you request the Trial in the Box pins. These come on PDFs, you print those locally, insert them and add them to a box, hand them out at trade shows. The end user registers for a free trial. You will have visibility of that. They decide to buy. You will then be able to use our coin-based credit system to generate a license without coming to us. You then send the reseller the pin. They'll activate that back on our system automatically, and live configuration starts, and everything is locked to the last day of the month. Okay, so whenever you start the license, as a 12-month license, say, it'll be 12 months plus however many days are left to the end of the month. So everything is triggered to simplify the invoicing as part of a process where we try to simplify the lead generation, as part of a process where we guarantee to sell through resellers, not direct. This is built for specialist resellers to create compelling reasons to filter content and malware for their end users, applicable to all sizes and shapes of business. So we hope we can welcome you to join the community formally. And if you wouldn't mind, we've got a survey to ask for your feedback on the presentation today. Francesco, are there any special instructions we need people to follow on that?
Yeah, if you want, if you can, please complete the surveys. It's a way to improve our contents, to improve our slide and our motivation, and it is also a way to request a 15 minutes contact if you want to get in touch with us, and if you want to receive the best offer or to access our partner program for your channel. It is possible to do it within the last questions of the survey. There is an open questions. You can leave your data, and you can ask for a 15-minute recall during which a sales representative will be in touch with you to grant the access to our price list, to our condition, to our term, and to give you a very nice gift to thank you for for requesting the price list access. If you want, in the meanwhile, to ask for some questions, please feel free to use our web chat to ask for any question, even technical or commercial. We will be glad to answer now, or to schedule a separate session, individual, to answer to your question. So if you can please write down any question or complete the interview, we will be grateful to you for this. Thank you very much. If you have any questions about your market, some curiosity, some information about the reliability of our infrastructure, we are glad to give you any information you want. Some doubts, some personal opinion, some difficulty to sell security to your customer base, or something else that could help us to better focus your market and share some experience with you. What is your email address for communication? Okay, for every let me write, for every commercial communication, please use sales@flashstart.com. For any technical information, please use support@flashstart.com. You have been already registered, so the system immediately recognizes you. My email, maybe for technical or for information about our service, is Collini, COLLINI @flashstart.com. David's mail address is brabnar@flashstart.com for commercial and sale and planning strategy. For any information, even technical, please write here if you have everything. What is the price plan? Okay, David, just a few words about our price plan. Muhammad, are you a dealer or are you an internet service provider? Just to focus the best plan for your market. Thank you.
Yes, Mohammed. If you just type in the chat window if you're a dealer, an ISP, or an end user, and I'll just make a few comments. So the Flashstart service is available with a number of different ways to license. So, for example, business is licensed per user, per nominal user. Nominal user being anyone who uses the internet.
Okay, dealer.
Schools,
He's a dealer, David.
yes. Schools are licensed with a much cheaper way of licensing per nominal user. Hotspots are typically licensed on a square meter of area. ISPs are licensed per QPS. And so because of these different models, and because many dealers will sell across different markets like this, we operate in the following way. Number one, we sell a credit pack called a coin pack. So you buy 50 coins, 500 coins, 1,000 coins, 2,500 coins. The coins never expire. And then as you make your project, you convert those coins into licenses, the appropriate license. The benefit here is that the larger coin packs give you discounts, cheaper, the possibility to create cheaper prices. Secondly, the coins never expire. Thirdly, a coin can create any license and any renewal. So you've got the best of both worlds, volume purchase, but not locked in, and great flexibility. So if you log into your dashboard, Mohammed, on the left-hand side, you will find the pricing. If you click on that, you'll either go straight to pricing, or you'll find a link to say request pricing. If you request pricing, we should have that enabled for you, within 24 hours. Okay, so please take a look.
Please take just 1 minute to complete our survey. It's very important for us to improve our contents and our webinar. Thank you. It's a great courtesy that we are asking you to fill the survey in order to give us a feedback about our webinar and our argumentation. Thank you. If you can, okay. Thank you, Labinot. Okay, thank you for the answer.
Regards to Kosovo.
Yeah, just 3 minutes to complete some missing survey answers. Thank you very much. If you can, please.
So I'll just also say, as a community, you may feel you are missing some aspects, whether it be additional videos or case studies or product materials. Please let us know what you'd like, and we will get those developed for you as quickly as we can. We want you to feel you have all the tools necessary to promote this, and we'll do our best for you.
Yeah. Let me also remember that the webinar session has been recorded, and we will send you a nice follow-up with a video. So if you want to share with your colleague, with your technician, maybe with your sales account, you will be free to do it together with our slides that will be published, I think, by this evening or by tomorrow morning, together with a video recording. Okay, someone is still writing. Let us wait a few minutes to complete any question. And just 2 or 3 people are still missing to complete the interview. Let me also kindly chase you to complete the survey and give us your feedback. Thank you, if you can. That's okay. Just 1 minute. So, David, let me thank everybody for being remained for 1 hour for 1 hour with us, and for the very, very, very nice feedback that I'm reading now. Our interview, our survey will be open for other 5 minutes. I think, David, it's okay if you do not have any more questions. We can close the webinar, and thank you very much. Thank you so much for your participation and for your kind interest.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day and have a lovely rest of the week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.